Hey explorers, we're all going a little bit crazy because of quarantine. Today I'm gonna try something that's maybe a little bit more than crazy. This is a temperature detector, heat gun, whatever you want to call it, and we have our dehydrator over there. I wanted to talk about first what is a dehydrator and what dehydrating means. Basically, when you put something in a dehydrator, you're pushing air through and around the object at a warm temperature, but a temperature low enough that you're not actually cooking the object or food or whatever the heck it is, but you're dehydrating it, meaning you're removing the water, you're making the water evaporate. This makes food last much longer if you're storing it, and it's also kind of an interesting way to cook things sometimes. It's a preservation method mainly, but point is we have a dehydrator, and today we're gonna do something a little nuts. First, we need to know what the temperature the dehydrator will run at, because this one only has one setting. So we have our heat gun right here. We're going to point it at the very center of the dehydrator, inside. Right on the fan, we're at 147 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 64 even Celsius. Why did I need the temperature from the dehydrator? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Today our recipe involves moonshine, Everclear more specifically, and if you didn't know this already, alcohol has a much lower boiling point than water. And don't worry, we're not in the village today, we're in our own private studio and this is all a green screen. The boiling point of alcohol is 173 degrees Fahrenheit and water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's a misconception that when you're cooking with alcohol, you're actually cooking out the alcohol. Well, in 1992, there was a study that composed of a bunch of different universities using varying cooking methods, simmering, baking, broiling, and just on top of the stove, cooking with different types of alcohols, and the results were pretty interesting. At the end of the experiments, the alcohol percentage left in the dishes ranged widely, between 4 and 84% left. That's an average, so as you can see, there's always going to be a little bit of alcohol left over in most cases. And that means that little Timmy, well, he may not have liked your vodka rigatoni just because it tasted good. Today we've got some extra ingredients that I'm looking to do something with. I don't know what to do with them. So we're going to try and make dehydrator oatmeal blueberry moonshine cookies. I have no idea how it's going to work, especially since even if some of the alcohol is cooked out, that doesn't mean that it's all gone or that it's all there. It's very confusing to me, but I keep thinking about when you add water to something that you're cooking on the pan, the water can reach 212 degrees Fahrenheit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the water's not there. It doesn't necessarily mean that it turns to steam immediately. So my goal is to make this and then stick it in the dehydrator, I guess to dehydrate the blueberries and make kind of a consistent cookie thing going on. But I don't expect the alcohol to evaporate because alcohol is a liquid, and that's just what it is. It's not something that you can turn into a further form that's dried. Let's get started. I have no idea what I'm doing here. We're not following a recipe. But first things first, we're going to cut up this ginger because I love ginger and I like it. Shut up. I cut it really thin so that it'll fit into the dough. I guess it's dough technically, or batter. I don't know what the difference is. I was doing some reading earlier and I found this nice little sentence from their website. Just one shot of Everclear could make a person sick and endanger their health in a very short amount of time. According to the manufacturers, Everclear is not meant to be consumed straight. Rather, it is considered an unfinished ingredient intended to be diluted or used to make alcohol of a lower proof. This is the least sharp knife I think I might have ever used. I'm basically just ripping this apart. But I got this idea from edibles because you can make weed into food. So why can't you make alcohol into food? You could argue that you can with vodka rig and cooking wine and this and that. Jeez, oh my god. We'll just start mixing stuff, I guess. I don't know. Let's throw some oats in there. Definitely want to use all of these blueberries. They're still frozen, so toss those in there. We've got a chunk here that I don't really want to deal with, so I'm just gonna throw that back in the freezer, I guess. And then some coconut flakes. I don't want that classic alcohol sugar taste, so we're gonna add some maple syrup instead. But let's mix this stuff first with the ginger. Actually, I think this is, I don't know. I don't want to throw too much in there. I don't want it to be unbearably spicy, but I wanted to add the ginger to kind of cut the spice of the alcohol itself. Yeah. Oh my god, this lens is so wide you can see me all the way over at the sink. That's craziness. Okay, this smells like medicine. My hands could catch on fire at any second. Okay, significantly mushier. I think we can make these into little patties now. We'll see. Definitely very wet and squelchy. Plop. It's been about an hour. Seems about as dry as it's gonna get. I really don't want to eat this. It just smells like an oatmeal cookie, which is great. But will it taste like an oatmeal cookie, and is there any alcohol in here? The coconut and the oatmeal gave it a very, very nice texture. And the ginger, I can't really taste it very much, but there's this background bitter note that I'm certain is from the moonshine. So I would say there's definitely still some alcohol in here. Well, that's that. I did a few tests, and while I was doing that, I was chewing and digesting the last of it, and that ginger really comes through and protects what I'm certain would otherwise be a very nasty aftertaste, but instead it's just a little bit of a spice akin to something you would get out of the gin ginger candy. And it's honestly delicious. The outside is kind of hard and crunchy, nearly crunchy, and the inside is soft and wet with the liquor. So this went strangely well. I really thought this would just dive bomb and be absolutely disgusting, but it turns out that it's not. I absolutely love doing these wild experiments like this, and you get to make so many cool new foods that you otherwise never would have thought possible. And that especially goes with cooking with a dehydrator, because it opens up a whole new realm of recipes and cooking possibilities that you can do. And they're not that expensive either. We're coming out with lots of new cool content like this one, and we have a short film that's coming out really soon about a German secret agent. It's called L, so keep an eye out for that, and please subscribe down below and hit that little bell icon next to it so that you can be notified when that comes out and when all of our other fun quarantine videos come out, so that you can stay entertained. And I hope that you remember to come back, because we're working hard for y'all to make sure that you have enough content to get through wherever you are in life right now. If you're home with kids, or if you're a worker and you're still heading out to work, thank you. If that's the case, either way, thank you. One of the really good things that's coming out of this is people are finally understanding stay-at-home parents and homeschooling and how difficult it is, and also what an essential worker means. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of companies that aren't really reflecting just how important their workers are, but I'm hopeful that in the next few weeks and months we'll start to see a paradigm shift in the mindsets of CEOs and company policies in that regard, as well as a newfound respect from parents and just adults in general about homeschooling and being stay-at-home parents, because it is difficult and you all are rock stars and superheroes. Thank you for all that you do. Thanks for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry you didn't get to see me suffer at the end, because that was actually delicious. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Maybe our short film, maybe not. We had a bunch of people that were involved in filming that with us that unfortunately had to leave the college campus to go home. So It's Casey and I finishing up the film together, and it's interesting to say the least, but we're having lots of fun with special effects and learning new techniques, and now we have this new GoPro to work with, which is awesome. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. If you're new to dehydrator cooking, I'm sorry that this is your first video. But I need to know how much alcohol is still in here.